Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today is going to be a fun one. I'm going to just do a sit down kind of story time thing where I'm just telling you how I got into dog training, how I got into dog stuff like that. I post a lot on here of vlogs of my dog business, so I thought, wouldn't it be cool to kind of show you guys how I got into it and stuff like that, and just kind of share my story from the very beginning. So that's what this video is today. I've never done like a sit down kind of video, but I think it would be fun to kind of incorporate these videos along with my vlogs. The vlogs are not going to stop. I love having them. I love being able to look back on them and see where I started to where I am now. So I hope you guys enjoy the vlogs, but they're also a good little diary for me to have and to kind of see how things progressed over time. So I love the vlogs. They're not going to stop anytime soon, but I also want to incorporate some of this where we're just kind of sitting down, chit-chatting, whether it's about products, whether it's story times, whether it's whatever. I just want to incorporate more of this in my content as well. So yeah, like I said, we are just going to go over how I got into dog training, how I started my business, how I came up with this idea, stuff like that. And we're gonna go all the way back. We're gonna go from the very beginning. So I always grew up loving animals, and I always knew I wanted to do something with animals when I was older. I started a journal when I was younger of ideas for my future animal sanctuary, and I still have that same goal in mind. I want to start an animal sanctuary in the future. I want to rescue animals. That is my dream. I'm building up the steps to get there, and I'm just making myself overall more educated to be able to get there. So that's kind of where the training ties into that too. I wish I could start the rescue now. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of funding and a lot of resources to be able to do so. And that's why I started, and I went to more of the training route first, which I think could also help in the future when I do have a rescue, because a lot of those dogs need to be trained. Some of them have never lived with people before, stuff like that. So I think the training will be a really great asset when I do start my animal sanctuary. But yeah, so I always knew I wanted to start an animal rescue. I called it an animal sanctuary because I wanted to have a lot of different aspects to it, not only rescuing animals, but being kind of like a community for dogs and dog owners and pet owners in general. So that is still a dream of mine. It always will be. It always has been. When I graduated college, I went to college for a business management degree, again, to kind of help that business in the future. I knew I was going to have my own business. I knew it was going to be animal based. So I thought the best major for me would be business management. So I went, I got the degree. I was out of college and I was like, now what? So I also graduated a year early. And so that was a really weird time for me because all of my friends were still in college. I was now done with college. So seeing them still working towards their degree and I was done early was a very weird thing. And it made me feel really like lonely because I was the only one like, now what do I do? I mean, and most of my friends' degrees, they'll get a job right after, right? So a lot of my friends are teachers, or they're not necessarily get a job, but they're not like, from the degree that I went and the route that I kind of took, it's not like a job is lined up for me at the end, except not lined up. You know what I mean? Like if, like my friends that are going to be teachers, they're applying to teaching positions, where that wasn't really the case for me. It was like, okay, you have a business management degree. You can kind of do a lot with that kind of degree nowadays. Figure it out. And that was like such a weird thing. So I graduated and I was just kind of working a part-time job to start, just building funds and trying to figure out what to do. And at that time I was really like sad because my dream was to have this rescue, but you need money to do that. But I didn't have a job to make money, but I didn't want to get a job and not work to my dream. So I decided to pick up a hobby, and my hobby was dog training. So I was researching local dog trainers and I found one that I liked. I looked through their like website and stuff like that. I found one and I emailed her and I said, hey, can I just come like watch classes and just like learn? And she was like, yeah, please. Like, so I watched my first few classes and I really liked it, and I just stuck around and I would help out at classes. They were so amazing, just kind of taking me under their wing and just allowing me to experiment and try things. Like the first few weeks I was there, it was mostly like I was cleaning up in puppy class, cleaning up the pee and like just kind of observing. But as time went on, they kind of gave me more and more responsibility, which was really good and really helped me learn. If a puppy didn't know how to sit, they'd be like, okay, Megan, go ahead, like go help. You know how to do it, go help. So like it was really great to kind of teach me not only how to be a good dog trainer, but also like the people skills behind it too, which I kind of knew people skills because that was a lot of what my business management degree was, people skills and like learning that kind of stuff. So I kind of had some of that, but like working with people about their dogs, which is a totally different aspect to things. Like people with their dogs is way different than just dealing with just people. So that's like a whole thing on its own. But I started doing that and I really, really, really liked it. And so I wanted to get more and more experience. So I was helping out as much as I could on top of working. I prioritized during that time seeing my friends too, because I knew when they graduated, they would be getting jobs right away and then we would all become very busy. So I prioritized that as well. And then one of the trainers one day, I was just talking about how I just want experience. Like I appreciate you like letting me come because I love the experience. And she was like, the best way for you to get experience is to dog walk. Like the best way for you to get experience is to get your hands on dogs. That's how you learn animal behavior the best. That's how you learn what works and what doesn't the best, because you're just actively doing it and trying things, you know, and like working with animals. That's how you learn. So I was like, okay, I will. So I started my business. And I started with just like dog walking, and I would do pop-ins for people. I still do this kind of stuff, but just kind of talking in a chronological time order. I started doing the dog walking first. The first like few weeks when I started my business, I only had like one client and it was like once a week. So I felt like I wasn't doing anything, but I was doing a lot of marketing, talking to other dog walkers in the area. That is huge. You need to network. And I realized, which I really liked about this kind of business, was that the other dog walkers weren't my competition. We were all there to like help each other. Like a lot of them were like, I have clients you could have. Like, I'm so busy, I can't take these clients, or these clients are in your area, you should take them. Like the community of dog walkers, especially around me, is amazing. And if you're looking to get into it, the best thing I could recommend is join Facebook groups for dog walkers, because it is so fun. Everybody will like post things and you can help each other out and stuff like that. So it is such a cool community and I really liked it. And so I got my first few clients. The first few were just kind of like here and there kinds of things. And then I got my first few like weekly clients. So like my frequent clients. And that was really exciting for me because it kind of showed me when I was getting those frequent clients that you can make something out of this and you can do this, and like seeing revenue start generating is always a good thing. Obviously, especially in the beginning, it wasn't a lot of revenue because I still supply everything myself. So all of my dog walker stuff, my fanny packs, all of my dog treats, and I'm very particular on the treats that I buy. I try to make them as healthy as possible, but also high value. So I'm very picky my treats. I spend money on treats, lots of money on treats, and sometimes equipment and stuff too. So there was a lot of upfront costs and there's a lot of reoccurring costs because of the treats that I use every single day. But like I said, once I solidified those few things, I was just over the moon because I was like, oh my God, like this is real. I did this, like, and it only goes up, you know? I mean, with business and with any business, it's a total roller coaster. It's up and down and up and down. And that's one of the really hard things with business. And that's why it's not for everyone. And I have had my fair share of moments in both of my businesses, and it can get really hard and you have to make hard decisions and you have to figure out what to do, sometimes on your own. And that's really hard. And sometimes only you know what the right answer is. And yeah, so from there, the trainer that I was working with reached out to me and she was like, hey, I think you're ready to start like training at least puppy clients. So I have one, do you want it? And I was like, here we go. Like, I'll jump into the training. Like I had been working at that point at the training facility, like helping out and stuff and learning and stuff like that for at least 6 months. And so I had learned a lot. I was reading dog training books. I was watching videos, gaining information, figuring out how I want to do things. So this is the other thing with dog training. It is a completely unregulated industry. So there's not a lot of regulations on what is right and what is wrong. You really have to like figure out that stuff for yourself. I shadow dog trainers that are positive reinforcement. So that is what I have been working around, and that is what I use. I am positive reinforcement based because that's my knowledge and that's what I learned and studied under. So it's what I relate to best. Everybody's going to tell you something different. Everybody has a different opinion on what's right and what's wrong. It's really important that you do your research and you figure out what you believe is best. I love being positive reinforcement based. I love rewarding the good. Those are the things that I believe in, and everyone is going to be different. And even if you go in these Facebook groups and you join them for dog walkers, dog trainers, everybody's going to say something different. Some people are like, don't even talk about what you believe in because you're just going to start an argument. And that's with a lot of things nowadays. So that's the hard part about being in this industry, right? Is that it is completely unregulated. So you really have to watch what you're getting into, the people you're talking to, what you're viewing. Everything is very commercialized, I would say. I don't know if that's the right word, but like some people promise results that aren't necessarily results. Does that make sense? Some people are just training for management and some people are training for results. And so if you're ever looking for a trainer, looking to be a trainer, do your research, not only on the trainer, if you're looking to buy a trainer or like pay for a trainer for your dog, do your research on what they believe in, the videos they've posted, reviews. That's a huge one, especially for trainers. And since it's an unregulated industry, reviews are huge. If there is a negative review about like abuse or animal abuse or something like that, run. Like, do not use them because, and sometimes, as always with reviews, there's gonna be like negative ones here and there. Like, you're gonna hear that at restaurant one person's food was bad, but then 1,000 others were good. So there's gonna be those types of things. So really read through the reviews and see what people are complaining about. Some people will just choose to complain because like a trainer was too busy and had to turn them away. That's their review and that's how they feel, but if that's not necessarily a red flag about the person. If anything, it's a green flag because if they're really busy, they must be pretty good. So just read your reviews, do your research. That's always what I would say for a bunch of things, products, people, literally anything you're ever gonna do your research. That's a huge thing. But especially talking about dogs and the things that I've seen and the things that I've experienced even so far, definitely do your research on dog people, because I'm not gonna say too much and I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'm sure you can figure out what I'm talking about, but it's just do your research. But that's kind of how I got into things. I started then doing the training, and I also do the wedding services now, which I have actually done for friends before, where I would, like neighbors and stuff, I've taken their dogs to get pictures at their weddings, and I was like, why isn't anyone offering this service? So I started offering that, and I love doing the weddings. Like, that is one of my favorite things ever. And so I started doing that too, and that's kind of been my journey so far. Now I do make products too. I make snuffle mats, and so I'm trying the product realm of things, and I am just absolutely loving doing this. I love training dogs. I love getting to work with dogs every single day. Being a dog walker too, like I always was so like, being a dog walker sounds so like stupid. Like it sounds like I don't do anything, but it's so valuable. Like if you're not gonna, I also do the pop-ins, and if you're not gonna be home for a few hours, I can come let your dog out for you. Like dog walkers are very valuable, and I just hate that like I feel the stigma around like dog walkers, and I could just be making it up myself, but I just sometimes I'm like, I'm a dog walker. Like, and I don't want it to be like that. Like it is so valuable. I also do a bunch of other things on top of it, but the amount of people that have come up to me and said, what do you do? And I'm like, I have my own business. I'm a dog walker. I'm a dog trainer. I've been better about like saying it. And some people have literally said to me, you can make a living off that. Like I would never say that to anyone. And maybe it's just because I'm really sensitive and stuff, but like I have genuinely had people say that to me, and it's been like a knife to the heart, because each time like I already felt the stigma of like a dog walker and stuff, but I just like love what I'm doing, and honestly that's worth more than any amount of money that I could get from a salary or anything else. Like I love what I do. I love working with dogs, and when I can see what I do helps them in any way, whether it's training, whether my walks always include a little training for my own sanity most of the time, but if I can see a change and I can see it helping, then that is what I love. So yeah, that was kind of my story on how I got started with Spotted Snout, my business. I don't even think I ever said the name. If you guys are new here, I have a business. It is called Spotted Snout. You can look it up on Instagram, Facebook, my website, whatever. And I do dog walking, dog training, pop-ins, the wedding service, the whole 9 yards. I started the business back in March, I want to say, and I just have been loving it so much. I would recommend anyone start a business if that's what you want to do. If you're passionate about something, turn it into a business if you can. I've always been passionate about animals, and I hope, and I know, I'm not saying I hope, I know one day I will have my animal rescue, and I think all of this is just the path to get there, and it's teaching me a lot to be able to reach my end goal, which is to be able to save animals. My end goal has always been to save and help animals, and right now I'm doing the help. I'm hoping to get to the save eventually. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you clicking on this. I hope it helped you learn a little bit more about me, my training background, my business, how I started my business. That's one of my businesses. I actually have two. We could do another video on business life in general, both businesses, whatever. I just kind of wanted to be able to go over that and talk about it. All of my vlogs consist me talking about my business in it, so I feel like I owed a video of this is my business, this is how I got there, just like an overarching business thing. We could do another video about the truth behind a business, what it's like, the pros and cons, stuff like that. So if you guys want to hear more about business stuff, comment it down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.